Well, welcome to the Gary's Mod of podcasts, both asinine, unforgivably so, and 10 years out of date, the Herman Air Show. Damien, how are you?
I am well to do.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've come into a lot of money, and I don't need to be doing this anymore. I'm humouring you, of course.
Have you come into a lot of money because you've been refunded on a certain... So I was talking to Damien yesterday, and he had a good old moan, which he said he wanted to put onto the podcast. I have no idea why. That sounds terribly boring. But Damien, I talked to Rory the lawyer, and he said that... he's a hippo, by the way. Rory the lawyer, the hippo, he only wears a waistcoat. He said that you can have a moan about this company, but you have to call the company Collywobbles, and you can't say they. So you can't say like, oh, Collywobbles, they didn't give me my microphone. You have to say, oh, Collywobbles didn't give me my microphone.
Right, okay. I mean, that's quite a brief.
Well,
I think I'll lay the groundwork in this story and then jump straight to the end. So
good.
It's a very boring story.
That'd be a fucking first.
Yeah, no, harrowing tales of customer service. So there was a company called Collywobbles. And I was in the
market for a new microphone.
I was in the market for a set of stereo mics, and I found a good deal on something. And this company, Collywobbles, as previously mentioned, advertised it as a pre-order, like many months ago. And I thought this was I'll snap this up. Fucking hell, it's delightful, and it's only a mere fucking 500 something or other fucking quid. And
was that your belt unbuckling? I heard there. did your stomach recoil at you remembering that it was 500 quid?
There are muscle spasms. I think the rest of my body is disgusted that I'm trying to take this even barely pleasant tone when recounting this story.
You know, we've had numerous comments asking what a quid is. A quid, everyone, is half a shilling.
Tune in next week to find out what the fuck a shilling is.
Well, it's 2 shekels and a bar.
You had that one in the fucking chamber, didn't you? You had that one loaded, ready to go.
And I fucked it up. It's 2 shekels and a rupee. I remember when I was a kid and I heard that India was a poor country, but it confused me because I heard that their currency was rubies.
They only deal in valuable gems. They practically grow out the ground.
Yeah, they've actually got a very, very successful economy, a very high GDP. It's just that all of their money goes into having very pretty currency.
It's like any other country in the world where they have paper money, but what they choose to do is they compress it essentially under the most
each
intense
bill
situation.
Is hand-drawn by artists who've been trained in the Indian Academy of Arts for like 7 years.
And they're put under such duress. The job itself is very short-lived. It claims their lives.
In India's architects, India's engineers, they're all people who failed in this course of life and dropped out and I just became an architect after I fell out of art school.
Very highly trained, very highly polished, but they knew the life that they turned their back on, and they'll never find true contentment.
Weren't you saying something about a microphone that you didn't get?
Yeah, but I kind of feel like something happened where we became like mildly interesting. I don't know.
Well, see you next week. So anyway, you didn't get this microphone, and they offered you another microphone, right?
Yeah, well, what happened was I pre-ordered this thing, and yeah. And then
you pre-ordered? You ordered it before it was available?
Yeah, so this company is saying...
And did you buy the microphone's DLC?
When I was buying it, it did have like pre-order and great big fucking neon letters on the website, and there were a couple of things which I found out in hindsight come as standard with microphones at this price, like a carrying case, shock mounts, and like a stereo mounting bar and stuff like that. But they were listed like they were desirable features, like if you as we've discussed before, if you bought Kane and Lynch 2, or one of the bonus features if you look at the back of the case is that you can in fact play as Lynch. Full stereo sound. Interactive menus.
12% new coding. We're 7 minutes in and you're still telling your fucking story about how
all right, fine.
didn't buy the microphone.
This was 3 months ago. They said...
Can I just say to the listeners that all I've heard the last 3 months is how I still haven't got the microphone. I still don't have the microphone.
So anyway, I had to wait 2 weeks for it, and then 2 weeks comes, then it's a month, and then it's another month after that. And I was very patient for a little while, and then it was due to come in like a couple of days ago, and I thought this must finally be fucking it. I just can't be nice about it anymore, because I tried to inquire as best I could without fucking going mental, and they would just be like, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. We still expect it at our warehouses."
Yes. You didn't actually speak to anyone, though, did you? It was all email.
No, it's all email. Yeah, no.
So you're affecting the Lisp.
Yes, but
that's creative license.
These emails were very brief, and they completely glossed over what my questions were. So I chose to read it in a as though these people were being incredibly shit-mouthed with me and very kind of. Yeah.
You're one of those people who read stuff like that, though, aren't you? Like, you're one of these people who goes on Reddit and someone's on a technical subreddit and they're just saying like, "Oh, I'm trying to build my own velociparator." And I was wondering what the capacimation unit per square inch needs to be on the hook, line, and sinker. And then you reply something like, "Oh, bloody fake news! Oh, Jews!" You're one of those people, aren't you?
I'm terribly sorry. I think I'm ready to get in touch with a perfectly reasonable question. Can you answer me yes or no? And it's like, I'm afraid no, we can't. And then as soon as I'm reading these things, that's what makes my blood fucking boil. Every single fucking time. But actually, that's almost everything that I read online. Everyone's kind of like, oops, sorry, no. Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Like, no. So I choose not to read anymore. Anything.
Oh, that's
No. It is total bullshit, because these people would completely glance over my fucking questions, knowing full well, if they did, that I would kind of be quite discontent. Because I've been on the hook for like 3 months, and I think if they gave me a fucking solid answer 10 weeks ago, I'd have been like, "Can I have my money back? You're clearly not in a position to deliver what I've paid for."
Well,
so
why not write a comment telling us what makes you blind with rage? How did this resolve? I assume that you.
It didn't resolve. So what happened was I lost my fucking rag. You
didn't push someone else down an escalator, did you?
No. They simply said like, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. We can't do it yet again. We're going to hold on to your money, but we're not going to give you anything that you've actually paid for." And
why do they sound like that?
I don't imagine if I actually spoke to these people directly, which I would never do anyway, they would be even remotely sincere with me. Because I think they've, it's customer service. They put something on just to kind of deal with people and just kind of compartmentalize them and move them the fuck along down the line. If they could be like, this is it's a bit of a fucking bore. Like, I'm sorry about this. Because I feel like if they kind of tried to relate to people on a remotely human level, they might be like, shit. Well, maybe we should do something to kind of make this up to this guy who's given us quite a lot of money, and we've done absolutely nothing for him in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that way with YouTube, because YouTube does a lot of customer service things where it says it says things like, "Hey, wouldn't the world be better if it was run by YouTube creators?" Right, we agree. Like, firstly,
that's a huge fucking assumption there.
Don't assume I agree with anything you say. But secondly, no, of course it wouldn't be better. Most fucking creators are children. No. Of course not. It'd be
Hurriedly,
terrible.
I jump on the keyboard and I send them the most panicked email. And I must convince them that no, this is an absolutely terrible idea. We could not possibly put the world in the hands of these morons.
I think the world would be better if it was run by fucking Puritans than YouTube creators. YouTube creators as a demographic are probably one of the lowest down people. I would put in fucking in charge of the world. Yeah, they'd be right down there with the estate agents. If you had to pick a group of people, though, who would it be? Would it be like doctors or something?
What, to exclusively run the world?
Yeah, like a profession of people. Butchers.
Yeah, I would say something in like the meat packing industry, cattle
Yeah.
farming, maybe.
Yeah, meat for everyone. It's a society based on meat.
Oh yeah. As soon as after a certain age, you are simply consumed.
Of course,
Or
we are
burn for
making
fuel.
making the trodden over and over again mistake of assuming that everyone who's doing their profession is obsessed with furthering it to the point where society is based upon it. Like the real estate agents come into power and they're just like, well, everyone has to buy a house a year. You can sell as many houses as you want, but everyone has to buy a new one every year. Instantly tyranny.
Yeah. You have
So
meat
ice
packers.
cream men are in charge, and everyone is just suddenly so fat because they can't eat anything else. So you didn't get your microphone, and then they gave you your money back. So what's the problem?
The problem was when I finally wrote, so I said I want my money back, and then I just asked for one final plea for some kind of explanation, and they were like, "Oh," they completely glossed over the fact that I wanted my money back, and they're like, "Well, maybe we could recommend
That annoys
this. Obviously, we still can't tell you exactly why, but maybe you would like to have a look at this. We could offer this in place."
Well, why do you think that this company, who had basically ordered a microphone from another company to give to you, why weren't they able to give you that microphone?
I don't know. I think as a
Do you think anyone's worked out that microphone is our code word for big bag of cocaine? They offered you an alternative.
Yeah, they offered me an alternative, right? So with more features, and it was an additional like 120 quid. I thought, all right, okay, so they'd be upgrading me.
Damien, collywobbles.
Collywobbles would be.
I'm glad I haven't let that slide. Fucking 15 minutes.
So yeah, Collywobbles kind of offered this, and I thought, all right, maybe this looks like they're going to upgrade me just to kind of, for the sake of saying sorry. They've wasted fucking 3 months of my life at this point chasing these fuckers up. Okay, I looked it up, and the reviews seemed pretty positive. So I thought, all right, fine, click, I'll go for it. And then the next day, it's like, that's great news. I'm glad another satisfied customer. Anyways, we don't keep your card records on detail, so if you just want to patch those through, and we'll deduct the remaining 150 quid, and we'll get it shipped out to you tomorrow.
And you assumed that they were comping it.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I don't see why they would have made the suggestion in the fucking first place.
Yeah, it does seem. Yeah, I mean, they had you waiting for 3 months. I kind of agree with what you're saying. I remember once I was trying to buy a kayak from Decathlon, not for anything fruity, it was part of a scam, and I was going to use it in 4 months, and they didn't have it, and they said, well, we'll have it next month, we're going to order one, and you can buy that. So I went into the store, and they were like, no, we don't order them to the store, we order them on demand. So I was like, well, okay, I'll order one now. And anyway, they kept putting me off, and fucking French.
Roll credits.
They are French, aren't they? Okay, so we went down the rabbit hole a bit with Tommy Wiseau, from his Wikipedia page to his brief boxers
Empire
men dating page. I don't get this. Why is this dude wearing half a t-shirt? You see that, right? The guy
the
with
tank tops, yeah.
The star tattooed over his tit. That. Why? I mean, it is gay, isn't it? It's not just me.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of weird choices right there.
Like
not in terms of lifestyle, it's just in terms of fashion here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The yellow.
Because it is a choice.
Yes, right. It is a choice, and fine.
Yes, and a choice we've both made correctly, George.
Oh, well, I remember when I had a podcast.
Tell me more.
So the yellow lettering, I mean, that could easily say, 0800 tops. 0800 tank tops.
Are we still looking at the same advert here? So I started looking at the pants.
Oh, you start looking at the pants, the Tommy Wiseau pants. I mean, is this legit? It's on his Wikipedia. It's got to be legit.
Oh, we talked about it last week. I mean, the guy was. I think we we said he was like bootlegging leather jackets or something.
No. I don't mean. Is this? Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. I mean, I just meant is someone kind of aping him, but yeah. Well, what should we click on, Damien? Men.
Yeah, but not the the quaint link at the top. If you scroll down, there's the word "men" in great big pink neon letters with light surrounding it. That's what we're gonna fucking have.
Love is blind.
Well, I think we keep it simple. We go to shop all. We can go through the entire catalogue.
Where's that? Oh, shop all. Okay.
Next to his his mugshot, where he was done for indecent assault in the latter half of the 80s, I think.
That isn't Greg Sestero wearing these.
I thought that as well for a second.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a couple of the sports jackets, right?
Yeah.
There's a guy you can tell that's got kind of shaggy or blonde hair, and it could be. I mean, I don't imagine. Actually, I don't know. That might be bullshit. I don't
think it is him.
I imagine there's quite a few people in Tommy Wiseau's circle now.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it is him, to be honest. You think there's a lot of people in Tommy Wiseau's circle? Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of notoriety there. I mean, I think you got a lot of people. I think in quite an almost sycophantic way, really.
Okay.
You could definitely afford someone other than Greg Sestero to kind of to model his fucking cheap ass fucking plastic bag sports jackets.
I think that the middle of the podcast is a good time to say thank you to everyone who's continued to send us fan art. I just wanted to share one with you, Damien.
Hang on. Oh, okay, sorry, hang on.
That was sent to us by Yasta, because this is a thought I often have. We were talking about the room, and I was thinking, well, there should be a room too, obviously, because it would be an international best-selling film, but Tommy Wiseau at the end dies, so he could come back as a ghost, and Mark could say, I am afraid of a ghost. Oh, are you afraid of ghosts, Mark? No, but I am afraid of a ghost. Damien, I am afraid of a fucking ghost.
See, I struggled with the faces there for a little bit, because I kind of feel like the baby in the middle there. I thought that was Charlie Sheen for a little while.
What?
I was struggling with the thumbnail for a little while there.
What? When Charlie Sheen had a coiffier?
Well, I don't imagine they photoshopped their hair. I mean, I imagine the hair was kind of a given for the piece of art that they used to begin with.
It's our Lord Harold Christ, for God's sake. I don't understand as well. Like, why is the Aykroyd on the top right holding mistletoe? Is that?
Why is it all Aykroyd? Who is afraid of? Is Harold Ramis the one that is afraid of the ghost here, and he's just being plagued by Aykroyd?
Do you like the way that someone has done this? They've taken a lot of time to do this, and we can't fucking remember.
I can't.
What we said.
Ah.
Someone definitely said they were afraid of a ghost.
I mean, did we have to have said something, or are they just doing this to vex us?
Here's something I drew.
I was on the shitter.
It's wonderful, Damien. It's a wonderful piece of art.
You know, we don't realise it. I mean, I've chalked it up to like a cheap Photoshop job, but this
it's been painted.
We don't realise that this is actually like a 12-foot canvas that someone has been bleeding over for the last 4 months.
It's taken them since we mentioned it, which must have been, like episode 11 or something, to do that. Hot chocolate, you're not afraid of a ghost? Why are you calling the Ghostbusters then? That doesn't make any sense.
Put the fucking phone down.
Listen, Hot chocolate,
show some restraint, man.
There's no fucking shame in being afraid of a ghost.
I'm sorry.
It's not just no ghost, it's that ghost. It's the Wiseau ghost.
I'm sorry, I'm really struggling with this. I'm kind of I'm getting lost in like the face of Dan Aykroyd. It is a look of almost perfect contentment and satisfaction.
Yes, I'm telling you, this is brilliant. The top left, Dan Aykroyd, is content because he's holding his little black book of phone numbers.
Got the Aykroyd next to him is like, dude, check out this guy. He's got an olive branch. It's like, yeah, and it's like, dude,
check out the holy dating book.
Then we've got bottom right Aykroyd.
He's got a fucking cheese wire. He's like, yeah, there will be cheese. Yay! I say,
That's
if there will be cheese,
so
we will share cheese with the young Ramis. And yea, the mistletoe will only mean light kissing, nothing weird. Yay! Whoa!
I don't think there's any kind of like spoken word there. I think it's just, four Aykroyds just going,
I don't think. No, I think is kind of too much. I think it's more like that's cute. That's too acute of a noise. I think it's more like a
It's the four Aykroyds humming in chorus, but a really low, very unsettling drone, like. And that's why the baby is in that position. Like, it's what's levitating the child.
What the fuck is that noise? Where's that bass coming from? The Aykroyds are in the perimeter. And it's just
up until
just 1,000 Aykroyds, and they just kill people by humming them to death. It's like his bones were shattered from the inside out because of the frequency of the Aykroyd's combined hum.
Now, what we don't realize is this is just like a sort of this is only a thumbnail of what's actually going on. Like 20 seconds prior to this baby was entirely on its own in vast open scape. Just that these Aykroyds appear out of nowhere and swarm en fucking masse. This is simply a snapshot. If you were to widen the gaze here, you'd see thousands of them consuming the landscape.
Yes, thousands of them. These people are actually stood on the shoulders of other Aykroyds. Right?
Yeah, this child is nevertheless levitating 1,000 feet in the air.
Oh yeah, no,
we're just at the peak of this.
It is a mountain of Aykroyds, and they're all perfectly able to support each other on shoulders and everything. They're quite the gymnasts, the Aykroyds.
Yeah, well, you can clearly see they're very lean.
And they've only got...
These Aykroyds look after themselves.
Yeah, everyone's scared of them because they've only got two responses. They either agree, yay, or they disagree. And when they disagree, that's when, your bones shatter.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what's so terrifying about it, because they only have the one facial cue, so you have you don't know which side of the fence you're ever falling on, really, unless you are paying heed to them. Like,
are they satisfied because they agree with me, or are they satisfied because they're going to kill me?
Oh, that's what's so wonderful about this piece of art. It almost has like a sort of narrative flow. One part of it leads to the next, and your eye is just kind of drawn all over the place. It's wonderful. You don't focus on anything. It is a journey looking at this.
Top right Aykroyd has the best hair of the day, I think.
Oh no, it's Aykroyd's on the right, surely. Yeah, because the bottom right has the same coif. Yeah.
Well, what would you do? Would you turn and run, or would you back away?
I don't think I could run fast enough. I think we've already, it's canon that there's at least like 2,500 Aykroyds there at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my number would be up. I'd have to kind of double down and kind of like live in servitude of the Aykroyds, or accept my fate and be consumed alive.
I mean, do you think they'd have any use for you?
Well, I think that's the $1 million question. If I am going to kind of keel over and pay tribute to them, I just have to pray that, that there is something that I could possibly offer. And I know, deep in my heart, there probably isn't.
Damien, it sounds like you write the weirdest fan fiction. Get to the bit where they put something in your ass.
All 2,500 of them. In a line.
You can complain directly by writing to Susan Polish Name, Unit 17, the 3rd Incinerator, YouTube Peasant Relations Department, Airstrip 1.
I've been frying fish balls, and when I haven't been frying them, I've been manufacturing fish balls. So
I was thinking the other day, and I don't know why I was thinking about this, and then your story about fish balls reminded me of this, but I was thinking the other day about when someone did a shit in the lift at school. And I was thinking about, I wonder where that person is now. Like, I wonder what
he's a millionaire.
Are they having a shit in a lift in their elevator in their office? In the elevator going up to their office. I mean, what is that? That is.
But it's their building. It's like a fucking 30-story fucking.
So we had an elevator
office.
in our school that basically went up one story, and it was essentially for disabled people, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
But I think really the only person who ever used it was Mr. Bancroft.
Oh, of course. I forget about fucking Bancroft.
I mean, I think it was Mr. Bancroft who discovered the shit, wasn't it?
So don't you mean to say that I think it was Mr. Bancroft who was discovered with the shit,
I think it was Mr. Bancroft.
marooned in the lift.
Anyway,
Like-
to cut a short story shorter, I think it was Mr. Bancroft who was discovered with shit in his tyres.
With shit in his teeth.
Anyway, he was in a wheelchair and he was the only guy who would use the lift, and someone took a shit in the lift. And I was thinking about it earlier because I think it's an example of something which is, I do think is funny, but also if I was the person in charge of that lift or someone in charge of kind of like dealing with that, I would be fucking furious. But what makes it funny is just why.
I think, like a lot of us, they just fucking hated school. And it's just a very, yeah.
I shit in a lift to express myself. Well, maybe, yeah. I'm sure there was a lot going on there, but it's just such a weird thing to do.
Yeah,
Did they
I
shit in
mean,
the lift, or did they have the shit in some cling film, or
I don't know. I reckon, they will have been a young, spry lad. I'm making an assumption there, but definitely young and spry. I think they could probably fight.
I don't think it was one of the girls' hockey team, was it?
No, well, I don't think my assumption is too unfair, but I think whoever's doing it could probably fire one out very quickly, in the time it takes from the lift to go
See the big fat
from
fucking
one floor
janitor.
to the other.
Then.
I imagine, right? So there's two possible, there's three like possible scenarios here. Like, so does this guy like do the deed and simply just like fuck off? And I mean, he needs to kind of, groom himself after, wipe his ass and what have you. So does he simply just kind of double down and just go to, just kind of fuck off with, shit cake cheeks, or does he go into the lift with
Shit cake cheeks? How do you have a shit? You just just pebble dash it, do you?
I don't even lift the toilet seat up.
There isn't a toilet seat, it's just a trough.
I just sit on the floor, it's fine.
Oh.
Always makes a nice T shape when I look back.
Fucking hell, there, that's the last clip I wanted to send off to the podcast awards. Excellence in British broadcasting.
I mean, does he prepare for it? Does he bring toilet roll in with him to the lift? Or does he travel from the ground floor to the first floor? Because if he goes in the opposite direction from first floor down, I seem to remember that you had the boys' toilet almost right next to the lift. So if he travels down, he makes his escape and just goes straight into one of the cubicles and cleans up. That's genius. Obviously, it has to be that.
Well, why wouldn't he just have it already ready? Why not do the shit into his cling filmed hand in the
So what you're
toilet?
saying is like, so this guy he finishes up finishes up his English lesson just across, like fucking 12 feet across the hall. He gets out of it. He produces from his bag a roll of cling film. He's seen walking across to the bathroom, goes inside, takes a couple of minutes.
Why would he take the fucking cling film out of his pocket before he got into the bathroom? That doesn't make any sense.
No, your story seems to imply that the guy comes out of the toilet with the shit in the hand, and like goes up to the lip, presses the button, queues for it, waits,
Because this is not on
avoiding
that floor.
all eye
No,
contact.
he puts it back in his bag, doesn't he? He shits into his cling film. He ties it up.
That's too dangerous.
No,
You
it's not
can't
too
afford
dangerous. That's
that.
the only
If
safe
there's
way of
any-
doing it.
Yeah, but if there is any kind of puncture, that scent is going to that will
Well, there's not gonna
expose
be a
him for the rest
puncture.
of the day.
It's not going to be a puncture. I knew somebody who did a shit and put it in somebody
Yeah,
else's
but, you know,
locker.
the only way
and it
you could
wasn't discovered for
guarantee
2 years. 2 years
could
because
only-
the cling film was so strong, and then it was
Yeah, but-
disturbed and oof.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the fact that he has to kind of drop this in the lift in the time it takes to travel one floor.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't
You know,
do that. He took a shit in the toilet, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't shit. Okay, he was in the bathroom in a stall. He shat into his hand in cling film. He wrapped the cling film around the shit. He put the cling film containing the shit into his bag where no one could see it. He waited for the lift. He got into the lift. It was just like, okay, he's using the lift. While he's in the lift on his own, he places the shit wherever he wants it. Opens the lift doors open. He gets out.
Still, it is quite. It's dicey. I can't. It doesn't feel right. I don't feel.
It doesn't feel right. Why? You think that this wasn't a premeditated shit. You think this was a shit of passion.
Yeah, I do think it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I don't think cling film has got anything to do with it. Because I mean, I imagine like even like the tidiest shit there's going to be a lot of it's gonna like the cling film will retain a lot of that, and he's going to have to dispose of that somehow. When he's doing it, he will, the pressure will get to him. He will simply ball up the cling film. There could be a gentle spurt somewhere, but there's going to be some kind of mess. It'll go straight back into the bag. There will be some kind of spillage and an ungodly sense that's going to follow him around.
Not necessarily. Not everybody has a diet like you, where it's just brown paste in the morning. Maybe he'd been eating fucking soda bread for the last 2 days.
If that were the. I'm still operating under the assumption that he's done it he takes the shit in the lift.
But why would he do that?
No, I'm still, I don't know. I'm still struggling with the idea of travelling to the lift with the shit. In
his bag or something, and it's wrapped up, it's fine.
I just wouldn't put a shit in my bag.
Well, you wouldn't shit in a lift, would you?
I would sooner shit in a lift than put a shit in my bag.
A shit if it's wrapped up in cling film? What? It's only 20 seconds for it to go between floors. What if the door's open and you've got your trousers around your ankles and you're shitting into your underwear?
Like you panic, right? You like primed yourself to kind of give it the full force that would like launch it like clear of your trousers, but you kind of bottle it. You hear it like it gets up to the first floor sooner than you realise.
That's your mistake. Your mistake is thinking that force has anything to do with this. It's not force. It's angle. It's all about angle.
And of course you bottle it and it just lands straight in your pants. Because you panic, you wrangle them right back up to your fucking waist again.
Another day going home with brown balls.
I go back home and I write in my diary, attempt number 23 was unsuccessful. Tomorrow will be a better day.
I know it's caught you somehow. You're just that much of a bungling idiot.
I just have the reputation for being that kid that stinks like fucking shit. It's like, oh god, all right, okay, so it's 2:30. Everyone stay clear. Damien's going to be shitting in the lift again.
Luckily, we had.
Why don't the authorities intervene? Why are we letting this happen?
We already had a child that stank like shit, so it's fine. No, I'm telling you, it was premeditated. It was, it was a.
Sound like you've got some insider knowledge here that I'm not privy to.
I've got friends on the grapevine. On the turd vine. No, I just envisioned it like that. I remember one of the things I wanted to do, and I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't, seeing as I'm sure this would have got me into trouble, was there was a plaque saying that Theresa May, who's now the President of England, and was previously the Home Secretary or something, well, must have been Education Secretary at some point, there was a plaque saying that she opened this building, the new building, and it was just screwed on with like 4 screws, and I was just going to come in one day and take it off because it was completely dead. If you just went during a lesson time.
I seem to remember there was no, and there is now, but there wasn't any perimeter back in the fucking day. You could just walk in at fucking night.
My uncle, who would probably be about 90 by now, he was in the army in the I guess the 40s and 50s during the Malaya crisis, and he told a story where he was on a big parade, I think sometime in the early 50s, a huge parade of the army in front of the Queen, and it was when the Queen would ride a horse and inspect the troops. And he said that on this parade there was a man kind of near him, stood on parade, in silence, who really needed a shit. And apparently he, on parade, imagine outside of Buckingham Palace, he took down his pants and did a shit.
I mean, surely it was during.
Surely you just shit yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. If you're going to go for that gesture, I think you would just kind of double down.
Was it a
wait
gesture?
For the monarch.
Was it a gesture? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I think in that kind of situation, there must be some kind of program, kind of survival programming in your head that says if you do this now, bad things will happen very quickly to you.
I mean, I think he was, I don't think he was just punished. I think he had all of the other shit being out of him, maybe. It was a different time.
He was wrung out like a tube of toothpaste.
Oh! Okay, they like put him on a special rack. That like corkscrews
It's like a
you.
small steamroller.
It's like a small Oh, they really press it out of you, is what you're saying. I think a lot of the fun of owning a steamroller would be keeping the front and back rollers clean. How do you keep your steamroller clean? Be sure to write in. I wonder if they ever located that, the shitter, the mystery shitter.
So you think like there's still someone that works in the faculty that's been vexed by it to this day, and they're still like they were only a technician at the time, but they've lost their job. If you ever find them, they're shut in. They're just completely consumed by it.
They have a wall that's covered in string connecting different photos of people.
Or do you reckon like the faculty knew straight from the get-go and it was a cover-up?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking that maybe they thought it was an unsolved crime and then it happened again, and they've got to work out, is it a copycat or is it, oh no, a member of the faculty?
A serial shitter.
Because not many people know about that, The person who did this copycat shit knew a lot of details about the original shit, a lot of details that weren't available to the general population of school.
Such as diet. Close examination of the shit, you could see that the fact the perpetrator was keen on certain cruciferous vegetables.
Next time, should we talk about birdemic?
Okay, yeah, sure. That'll be good fun.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so next time we're talking about birdemic.
Yeah, that was a lot less painful than it usually is. We selected it quite quickly.
Yeah, because usually it's like, so next time should we talk about birdemic?
I'm afraid no, we can't. No, it seems a bit on the nose. I think we're better than that.
I'm afraid no, we can't.
All right, see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Thanks very much.